birds are singing, skies are blue. The world's awake, it's time for you. Start it right, you know it's true. Anson in the morning.
Good morning. It is time for Anson in the morning. I'm here, you're there. Let's get this thing on the road. Sorry, I forgot to take my morning vitamins and still washing that down. So give me 1 second. Okay. So last week I was supposed to do a show. Of course, I always do it on Mondays. This week I did not, or last week I did not. I had the flu and I'm still recovering. So if I cough or you hear the graininess in the voice or whatever, please forgive me. But this was a killer. I get sick like this maybe once every other year, maybe once every 3 years. And this one I haven't been sick for over a week in a long time, but I'm slowly getting back on my feet. I had to do a show because last week's show was really interesting. It talked about my relationship with God. And like I said, there's two things I don't like to talk about: religion and politics. And last week I did one of them, or the week before, and we had a good response. I had some good chat in the chat logs there. People were actually challenging me, which was amazing because I don't get challenged that often, and usually people, they do whatever. They hear what I say and then they go on their merry way. It's really cool to get challenged. So guys, if you guys want to get into these chats and actually feel and be part of the show, I would be more than welcome to that. And if you guys want to come on and challenge me, let me know. I'll send you the StreamYard link. We'll get you on here and you and I can have a little bit of time, because that's what Anson in the morning is. It's my time away from all the other stuff we do at PNS Studios, which is all great, great stuff. But this is just my sounding board. What do you know about me? What is spicy like, Anson. So anyway, the new year is here, excuse me. And we've got a whole bunch of resolutions to get to because God knows I need them. And then I'm wondering, what is a resolution? Like, why do we make resolutions on New Year's? Can't we change our lives whenever we want? Why does it have to be one specific day? Is that just a good, clear starting point? Because I know alcoholics that'll be like, it's Saturday night, I'm going to drink, I'm starting fresh on Monday. Well, that means you're not going to start, right? So isn't that the same thing with the resolutions? Because God knows when it comes to drinking, I've done that. You know what? I'm going to take a break from November to the end of the year. And we're going to start November 1st, but it's Halloween and I got to drink tonight. That's no good. I mean, when does that ever do anybody any good when it comes to keeping yourself straight? Sorry, guys. I'm already winded. It's 2 minutes and 47 seconds into the show, and my lungs are still trying to work. So, like I said, this has been a real killer of a flu, man. It knocked me out. It's hard to catch a breath every now and then, especially when I'm talking like this. I get long-winded and all of a sudden I find myself talking like Joe Pesci because I'm running out of air, you motherfucker, you. You know what I mean? So anyway, while I'm getting over this thing, excuse me, this damn bug I got. I got 3 kids, right? I got twin boys and a daughter that's a year older than them. And all through whenevers, they're fine. As soon as we're all home at once, I get the damn flu. It's because all those germs, these little snot faucets, dude, that's all they do is culminate germs. And I love them. I love my kids. If anybody watches this show enough, I adore my children, but I don't adore the germs. And I'm like, wash your hands as often as you can. Okay. Did you wash your hands? Yeah. Did they wash their hands? Probably not. Damn kids, but I love them. Now it's another thing. Like I've got the crooked teeth, but I brush every day. What is it with trying to get your damn kids to brush their teeth why is it so hard to get into that rhythm? I fell right into it. Like it wasn't an issue for me, but it's so hard. I got 3 kids and all 3 of them, it's like, did you brush? Did you brush? Did you brush? Did you brush? I got to set an alarm on my phone morning and night just to remind them, hey, before you leave for school, brush your fucking teeth why is that such an issue? Like, I don't get that with kids, but you know what? We're talking about resolutions. And that was one thing that all 3 of them were like, you know what? We're tired of dealing with this. We're tired of you, Dad, giving us shit. We're going to start brushing our teeth. And I will say, what's today? Today's the 12th. And they've been doing it religiously all the way through. So thank you guys. But it started me thinking, like I said, about the resolution thing. Why do we have to have a start date for our resolutions? Why can't we, it's July 14th. Let me take a break from smoking so much grass. You know what I mean? It's all these little things that that add up that got me thinking this week, especially when I was down. Like I said, I'm in the bed with the flu. I don't want to get out of bed. I'm scrolling TikTok. I'm scrolling my phone. I'm trying to think about stuff to talk about on today's show. And all I see is this political shit. What the fuck, America? Now, this isn't a politics show. So anybody who's new to Anson in the Morning, this isn't what I normally talk about. Normally, it's just all about me and what's going on in my life and blah, blah, blah. But this started to creep into my life. And like I told you guys, I don't talk religion or politics. So the show that I did last, that's the only time you're really going to hear me gripe on religion. And today is the only day you're really going to hear me gripe about the government. But I kind of think it has to happen. So, what the fuck, America? You got guys with guns roaming the streets, knocking down American and foreign citizens. I mean, this isn't the America I grew up in. You know, I'm not really a Republican or a Democrat. I kind of lean each way because I get both sides, right? I get both sides of the political spectrum. I understand what Republicans stand for and what they are hoping to achieve. They want a government that runs like clockwork. They want it set in stone. They want it to go the way that it needs to go so that everybody profits. I think. I don't know, because like I'm not a government scholar. But then the Democrats, you know, they want to help people so much that it's almost a fault. You know, like let's get all these homeless people off the street. Well, cool, let's get these homeless people off the street. But what are we going to do about it? Well, the Republicans are like, you know, I don't know what we do about it. Maybe we build them some homes and see what happens. And the Democrats are like, well, we need to get them into the hospital and we need to get them funded and we need to get them medicated. And both things are going to cost money. So who's right and who's wrong? I mean, does it matter? You know, you guys know, if you guys have been watching Anson in the Morning for any length of time or anything that PNS Studios has done, my good friend, Mr. GB, I'm going to call him Frank, good dude. He and I are kind of on each side of the spectrum. And over the last, especially while I've been sick, one thing that I have been doing is I've been playing a lot of Helldivers. It's a game. It's like one of my little guilty pleasures. I like Helldivers. So I'm playing with my buddy and we're on Discord talking to each other. And we start having this little bit of a debate about politics. And it wasn't heated, man. It was solid. Like I learned some stuff not only about the other side, but not the other side, but I learned some stuff from the other side that I didn't know. And I think he did too. Like we both got a good insight, not into the politics, but each other. But then I see all these people in Congress. I see, you know, the Speaker of the House up there. He's just so hard-nosed. He won't budge. This is how it fucking is. And if you don't fucking like it, you're done. That's what it feels like to me when I watch it. But then I watch, you know, AOC over there on the Democrat side. And she's just as bad. Everything is right. You guys are ruining the fucking country, blah, blah, blah. Well, man, everybody said that every politician's been ruining the fucking country since what? Since 1776. People have been unalived over this because they just can't agree with the politics. And I'm like, look, dude, you know what I miss? I miss the days when somebody would be like, yo, dude, did you hear what the president said today? I'm like, no, I didn't. I didn't happen to grab a paper back in the days when we had papers. You know, I didn't happen to turn on the news. I just didn't see it today. It's not a big deal. Now the shit is in every feed, every YouTube channel that I go to. It's all over. And am I helping? No, because I'm talking about it right now, right? So a guy like me who's usually silent about this shit is now getting into the mix because it's absolutely in front of my face. I have no choice but to see this, to absorb it. So I have to think about it. And now I start thinking about it. As somebody who's not really a Republican or a Democrat, you know, I wish I could take the Democrat thing off my card and put independent. And I'm sure I still can, but whatever. Even independents aren't really independent. If they were independent, they wouldn't have their own goddamn thoughts. You know what I mean. But the ICE thing is killing me. This I can't stand. Now, I'm not talking about what's her name, Good, who got shot. That sucks. And it really does suck. And it sucks when some guy shoots, any law enforcement officer shoots somebody and is like, fucking bitch. You don't do that. When I went through my handgun training and all the stuff that I did to become, a bounty hunter and private security and all the shit that I've done, the one thing they taught you is, you know what, dude, if you shoot somebody, you sit there afterwards and you hold their hand while they die. You have to give them humanity. You call the ambulance and you hold them. You're there for them. The fight's over. They're not your enemy anymore. But I'm not seeing this, man. And I've never seen it from police. And that really sucks, man. Now I get it, right? I watch TikTok and the thing that shows up on my feed is oh, watch this guy owning the cops. Why are you an auditor, dude? Why are you putting you have better things to do than take up their time, right? You have to audit the police. Well, fine, go fucking audit the police, but do it not in their face. If some cop's across the street doing a traffic stop and you're sitting there with a phone recording it and yelling at the cop, yes, you are impeding. I'm sorry. But I'm going to talk about the other thing. I play the game. Okay. I've been pulled over maybe less than 10 times in my life because I follow the rules, right? I signal when I'm going to turn. I turn into my own lane. I've got a rule when it comes to speeding. 5 over in the city, 10 over on the freeway. You know what I mean? If it says 50 in the city, you go 55. It says 65 on the freeway, you go 75. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much the safe road for cops. 5 over in the city, 10 over on the highway. But when I do get pulled over for whatever, and it's been some stuff, and nothing major, but like maybe I was going too fast, or I busted that corner, or me and Frank one night got pulled over because I was like, hey, watch this. I was going to jump because over where we used to live in Portland, there was a street light. And if you went over Barber Boulevard, it was a hump. And if you hit it fast enough, you could get a little air. Well, this light had turned red. Frank and I were out. We were, 18, 19 in my brand new shiny truck. And the light turns red and I hit that thing. And we didn't get air, but we went over that hump and through the red light. And the first thing the cop said was, when she pulled me over, she's like, you didn't see me sitting right there? I was like, no, I didn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. But what I did was the right thing, right? Because I was taught from the earliest. When you get confronted by a cop for anything, pull over, turn off your car, turn the dome light on if you need to, have your wallet out quickly and put it on above your steering wheel there on the dashboard. Hands on the wheel, 10 and 2, so they don't feel like you're any kind of a threat. Window down, I've got a smile. Well, hey, how you doing? You know how fast you're going? Yeah, I do. I really do. I could give you an excuse, but I don't got one. So here's what it was, and guess what? 9 times out of 10, the only ticket I've ever gotten was that one when me and Frank went over the thing, because I think that cop was trying to prove a point, but it doesn't happen. I don't get tickets because I'm not confrontational with the police. I don't put my license up to the window and say, you can see it, and roll my window down that much. You don't need my window down. Why do people do this? Are they trying to antagonize the cops to be mean? Because if that's the case, then I get why these cops are getting so pissed. On the other side, they got to understand that these people in these cars are kind of scared. I mean, I get it. I don't get nervous when I get pulled over by a cop. I'm shaking a little bit because I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going to happen. I once got arrested for not paying child support. Okay, my first wife and I had separated. I was couch surfing for a while. I had no real residence. I had never been served with child support papers, so I just didn't know what I owed. And I didn't even think about it because I'm trying to take care of myself and get things going, and fix this situation that I'm in with my ex-wife. And one day I'm driving down the street and I get pulled over. Whoop, whoop. And I'm like, oh shit, I must not have been speeding. And he walked up to the car and he's like, Anson, you got yourself a warrant for your arrest. What? What do you mean? Well, you got a warrant for your arrest. It said something about family court, so I could assume it's something to do with child support. And I'm like, oh, shit. Now it all starts registering in the brain, right? Like the little computer guy in my head's typing it up. He's like, Anson, you fucked up. I'm like, all right. I could have given him shit. I could have said this sovereign citizen bullshit. I could have said anything I wanted. No, what did I say? Sorry, man. I don't know what happened. I got no excuse aside from I've been couch surfing, but that doesn't change the fact that you have a warrant for my arrest. So he's like, yeah, I got to ask you to step out of the car. You have anything illegal in the car? I'm like, no. He's like, okay, mind if I take a look? I'm like, go ahead. So he looks through why are these? Can I look through your car? No. Well, I had nothing to hide. So what do I say? Have a good time. He takes a quick look through the car. I'm in handcuffs already, puts me in the back of the car. And on the drive there, we had a pleasant conversation. He's like, I see you have a DPSST number. What's that about? I was like, well, I used to be armed security, and then I started working for a bounty hunter, a bondsman in Vancouver, Washington. He's like, oh, what's that about? Do you like that? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, so we had a chat. And then at the end of it, he's like, look, man, I really appreciate you being cool with me. I'm like, well, what else am I going to do? Fight you and get myself hurt and somebody else? That makes no sense to me. But every fucking video I see on TikTok are these goddamn people arguing with the cops, fighting with the cops. You were going, 72 and a 65. Show me the radar gun. Show me the radar gun. And they start, and instantly you think that cop's not going to start, okay, raise the hackles a little bit, get on edge. Of course he's going to, because you're challenging. Now, this is me defending the cops. But on the other hand, if these people don't stand up for themselves, at what point do the cops become too much? At what point are the cops enabled to use their power? Or, you know what I mean? To abuse their power, I'm sorry. Without people like these auditors who are there keeping accountable and filing these lawsuits and getting trainings changed and getting procedures changed and taking people to court, I think it's a good thing in a way. So I see these guys on TikTok that all they do want to do is audit the police, or, they're filming inside of a police officer. Well, it's my civic duty. Well, yeah, it is. But do you really need to do that? You're just trying to upset people. On the other hand, should the cop run out instantly being so aggressive? Nah, probably not. Like I said, with me and Frank, when we had this conversation when I was sick, we sat and we talked about both ends, and it never got heated. Like, I get heated a little bit because I'm believing in my point, but then so would he. And we weren't heated at each other. And at no point did we butt heads or think, you're fucking stupid. You're fucking stupid. You're fucking no. We learned from each other. We listened to each other. And, at 48 years old, almost 49 in March, I'm still growing from these conversations. And I think, and I'm going to say it, that's the problem with our government. Nobody wants to talk. It's all about fucking ego anymore, man. It's all about ego and money. That's what it feels like. You got like AOC, right? She was an internet sensation. Like, she was a personality, and that got her elected. That doesn't qualify you. It absolutely doesn't. On the other end, being a billionaire and hosting a TV show doesn't qualify you to run a government. It just doesn't. And everybody's like, well, I like this because it's change. It's something we're not used to. Man, yeah, I'm not used to it either. I'm not used to seeing all this news of violence on the streets. Now, when they impeached Trump, do I think that was right? No, I don't. I think there were other ways to go about doing whatever. You don't impeach, like I've said this before, you don't impeach the guy unless you absolutely fucking hate him. Like, that's just a fact. And they hate him. And I don't like him. Should he have put his name on the Kennedy Center? No, you don't do that. You don't put a president's name. I mean, their library, yes, but you don't put your name on something when you're still alive. It's in memoriam, especially to a president who was shot, who was killed. Kennedy. It sucks. But they honor him with the Center of Performing Arts, which he loved. I mean, he loved the performing arts. He loved Maryland. Ha ha ha. You see what I did there? He was performing arts on that little lady. I'm telling you what. But the ego on both sides. AOC's the same. I stood in front of the Senate and I gave a record-breaking speech that got nothing done, dude. Nothing was accomplished. Nothing. Chuck Schumer goes on TV and he starts arguing about how the Republicans are but what are you doing about it? I formed a strongly worded letter. Yeah, good for you, buddy. You want to talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. You don't take the actions to get done what you need. And this is one of the reasons why I'm not comfortable with being a Democrat. I'm not comfortable with the Democrats right now. They want to hoist up the fear mongering. They want to hoist up that everything's bad. Dude, I can't turn on CNN without Wolf Blitzer. Breaking news. All right, cool. What's the breaking news? Gas is up 3 cents a gallon nationwide. Here's 15 experts to argue about it. Fucking kidding me? I started watching the news at my grandma's house when she'd be fucking cleaning the house, and I had nothing to do but sit there and watch it because it was background noise, and she loved it. And I loved that it was news. You know, my housekeeper, my babysitter, my nanny, whatever you want to call her, Christine, she would watch them. Sorry, I'm still getting over the cold thing. She'd watch the McNeil Air News Hour every night while she's doing housework. So that means I had to watch it. And I did. And I learned a lot because it was not a lot of opinion. It was, it was like Walter Cronkite back in the day. Here's the news. Just the facts, ma'am. Like they said on Dragnet. Nobody knows what that is. Just the facts. And the only time you ever saw Cronkite get choked up was when Kennedy was he's like the president. And he wiped a tear. Now to sports. And that's what he said. He took a pause, choked down a tear. Now to sports. That's what the news should be. Here's what happened. And then let the other shows like Charlie Rose or whoever the fuck is on for commentary, like Sunday mornings at 6 a.m. was when the commentary was supposed to happen. Meet the Press, you know, or what was it with the other one? You know, all these talk shows were all on Sunday mornings were about the senators getting together and arguing and having their opinions and going back and forth and blah, 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 blah. And I enjoyed that because I used to get off work Sunday morning at fucking 5 a.m. I'd go to McDonald's, come home, sit in my chair, turn on fucking Meet the Press or Face the Nation. That was the other one. You know, and I'd sit there and I'd eat my McMuffin and drink my McDonald's coffee while I watched these shows because it was the only time that you could get political thought and commentary and a little bit of that. But now all the news is thought and commentary and opinions. And let's get people on there and arguing with each other because it gets views and it gets clicks and it gets advertising. Well, then that's not news. The news isn't me and my buddy Frank sitting there arguing with each other over a bottle of vodka one night. That's not the news. The news is there was a car crash on A Street and First Street. 2 people were hurt. That's all we know. Cool. That's the news. Not, well, one of them happened to run a red. If you look at this video from this angle and this video from this angle, and the guy shouldn't have had his phone. Blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. That's not the news. It's not. So I'm going to make a New Year's resolution right now. It's the first one I'm going to make right here. No more political TikTok. I'm taking myself off of it. I'm disconnecting for the year. I've unfollowed all of that shit today. All the ones that I followed on my Facebook that I follow. And I have to use Facebook because we use it for Fat and Spicy PNS and Anson in the Morning and all that stuff. So I have to use the Facebook. But I took all the political stuff off. I got rid of Fox News on there, and I got rid of CNN and Al Jazeera and BBC. I unfollowed it all. And I guess I guarantee you what, it's still going to be pushed to my algorithm because I used to follow it. Right? So I can't escape it. So we're forced into this political climate that I don't want to be forced into. I don't care for it. I don't like it. It's not fun. I could watch The West Wing or House of Cards and watch all that drama and intrigue and bullshit that they spew. And people are like, oh, this is so much like the government. This is how it really is. I don't care. I want to watch that because that doesn't affect my day-to-day. This might. So I guess as a Democrat, quote unquote, I'm still defending Republicans. On the other hand, I got a guy that I used to work with. My dad owned a landscaping company. And of course, he hired a lot of Mexican people. He's dead, so you can't hold him accountable. My father passed away. But the point of the fact is that these guys he used to hire were all good dudes. Like they came, They were up every morning ready to go with me at 6:30. I'd pick them up at the 7-Eleven, same three guys. And we'd go to the shop. We'd get the truck and trailer. We'd be on our way to go do our job every morning. And sometimes we'd be done at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Sometimes we'd be done at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the summer when the sun's still up, because you got to make that money, right? Never a complaint. Never a complaint. Cold is still catching. They never complained. They accepted the paycheck that they got. They sent, I'm sure, 3/4 of it to their poor families in Mexico who had nothing. And the next day they'd come to work. They taught me Spanish very well. I'm not fluent, but I can definitely make my way around if I went to Mexico, no problem. And I don't speak Spanish, I speak Mexican. That's what somebody once told me. And that's true, because I learned from the hardworking, blue-collar Hispanic folks that came to this country to try to do something. And at the time that they came over, it was really hard to get in. It wasn't like there was a naturalization, like it was easy, you submit your paper, you know, blah, blah, blah. So what did he do? What did he do? He came in, him and his wife. He came in first, sent some money to get his wife and kid over. They got over. This guy pays taxes. This guy pays a mortgage, which means he has to pay the P&T. You know what I mean? The taxes and the insurance on the place. He's got a car he pays insurance on, otherwise he can't drive, right? So there's money going in. He pays his income taxes, otherwise he wouldn't be able to have a house, no W-2. He has a social security number, because once he got here, he said, hey, I need to go through the right channels. And nobody kicked down his door. And guess what? He's still a good guy. He's still a good friend of mine. We haven't talked in a while, but he's still a good friend of mine. I consider him family. Never hurt anybody. His son went to Aloha High School. A student. Played on the B line football team. Had a girlfriend. Had a car. Was working at Burgerville or something. Just trying to make some money. And the last I heard from him, he had a house and a wife and a kid, and he was doing good. ICE picked him up, and now he's back in Mexico, where Venezuela is the problem. They don't send you back to Mexico. They send you to Venezuela. You don't know nobody in Venezuela. Why are we doing that? Or wherever the fuck you're sending them. The dude didn't hurt nobody. He wasn't a criminal. He wasn't a rapist. He wasn't the worst of the worst. He wasn't. He was a good dude. And he was my friend. But he's gone. Because, I don't know, you don't like him? I mean, so that's what I'm trying to understand, guys. And if you're in the chat and if you're watching any of this and maybe you're seeing this stuff, enlighten me, please, because I'm dying here. What's the point of we need a quota of 3,000 a day, and we don't care if they're business owners and community leaders? We're just going to toss them out. Like, Democrat, Republican in me, I don't know, but the human in me says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. Not the red, you give me all of it. Not we're sending out everybody. It doesn't make sense. It's too much. So maybe, Frank, maybe you're right, buddy. Maybe I'm a libertarian. Maybe I want as little government in my life as possible, but I still want the government to work, right? Like, I still want, if somebody breaks in my fucking house, I want the cops here. If I fall down the fucking stairs because I tripped on a kid's toy, I want the ambulance here. Or I have to pay for that. But if the house burns down, I want the fire department here. I want my taxes to pay for this stuff. So how libertarian am I guess, if I want government to work for me? I just don't want the government to be there. You don't need to be knocking on my door telling me my music's too loud. There's no need for that. So what? Fuck my neighbor. It's her fault. She's old. I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, guys, is that my New Year's resolution for this year is to stop with the media stuff. This is probably the last of this government bullshit I'm going to talk about, but I got to talk about it because I ain't talking about it no more. So today, whether you like it or not, you're going to hear it. What's next? I got to stop with the cigarette smoking, guys. I'll be 49 in March. I've been smoking since I was 14, 15, thinking it was cool. It's not cool. It sucks. I hate it. I hate that after a meal, the first thing I'm doing is looking for that pack of cigarettes. Or wake up in the morning. It's like, let me get downstairs and get outside and grab one real quick. You know, or I'm going to go pick my wife up from work and it's a longer drive. Let me have a cigarette. But of course, I'm saying that that's my resolution. How do I fix it? Like, what do I do to quit this smoking thing? Do I go on the patch? Because it doesn't fix this. It doesn't fix the having the cigarette. You know what I mean? I got one right here waiting to go. That's how bad it is. I know. I'm like, I know I'm going to do Anson in the morning today. I know I'm going to want a cigarette. I'm going to sit it right here in the thing ready to go with the lighter right next to it. What kind of a resolution is that for me to say I'm going to quit smoking? Or I'm going to stop or I'm going to cut back? And the drinking too, that's not helping anybody. Like, why? Why do I need that? Now, okay, to be fair, I do drink Rolling Rock, which has, okay, everybody can hate me. Oh my God, you drink Rolling Rock. Yeah, I do, because it's 4.4. It's not, it's just a little bit less than Bud and the regular average beers. So I feel like maybe I'm doing something, but that's me scheming and making a deal with myself instead of standing up and saying, you know what, you're a fucking drinker, dude. You need to quit this shit. And I'm not an angry drunk. I'm not. What I like to do is I like to have a couple of shots, maybe 2. I try not to overdo that because otherwise I just get 2, and then I'll sip on a couple of beers at night. You know, maybe go into the kitchen and crack one while I'm cooking, you know, but I still go through about a 6-pack a day, sometimes a little more after my shots. And that ain't doing my liver any good. That ain't doing this puss any good. Look at this face. I used to be cute. This is all from cigarettes and smoking and drinking. It ain't good, man. So my resolution is to cut back on both, but it's hard to make a resolution when you don't know how. Now, that being said, we're talking about smoking. I'm going to fucking have one. Don't judge me. That being said, people are like, well, if you're having a problem with the alcohol, go to AA. Try the AA out. Let's see if that works. It's a small town, man. There's one AA program here. And everybody, so how anonymous is that? I'm going to know fucking 3/4 of the people there. That's not anonymous. I don't know. And then somebody was telling me, well, you can't join AA if you don't believe in God. You don't have, like, they want you to have a higher power you believe in. And I'm like, I don't have a higher power. I'm an atheist. So is AA going to work for me? And one person was like, nah, not for you. Well, then what do I do? If this is my New Year's resolution to quit drinking, how the fuck do I do it? You're like, well, stop drinking the beer. Stop going to the fucking liquor store. I don't know. If you got a mosquito itch, it's like telling somebody to stop scratching it. You're going to fucking scratch it. You know, at some point, it's going to get unbearable. And that's what I'm going through right now. It's hard. But Anson in the morning is where I told you guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. You know, they say the first step is admitting it. Well, yeah, I am an alcoholic. I know I am. And I got to quit this shit. So my New Year's resolution number 2 is the booze. Cigarettes, or I'm sorry, the first one was cutting out the news. And I've already started to do most of that. I'm just waiting to see if the algorithm catches up. The second thing I'm going to do, cut back on the substances, the cigarettes and the beer. Now, as you guys know, I am a weed smoker. And I will smoke from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed. And maybe that's what I need is just, I remember I heard something about Willie Nelson when they were like, how did you kick smoking? And he said, well, I had a pack of probably, I think it was Chesterfields or something in my pocket. And I went for a cigarette one day and I was like, I don't need this. And I rolled 20 joints and I filled up that pack with joints instead. And every time I want a cigarette, I smoke a joint. Well, okay, but that's not really that much better for you, right? You're still putting smoke in your lungs. Now, I know it's not tar and all the shit they put in cigarettes, but it's still smoke. It's still not healthy. It's like everybody's like, oh, vaping's the healthy alternative to smoking. Then you hear, no, it causes this shit. Now, I don't know if that's propaganda once again by either side. You know, oh shit, all of a sudden this vaping is going to cut into Marlboro's profits. Well, let's put out a study that says that vaping is going to give you this fucking chronic lung disease in 10 years. So maybe cigarettes are a safer alternative. Well, nothing's a safer alternative, including the California sober thing. It's not. But I got to do something to keep my head mellow because I'm not a healthy dude when it comes to mental stuff. If I was mentally healthy, I wouldn't be doing this fucking show. I wouldn't be a podcaster. I wouldn't try to stream my games. I would be doing other things with my life. But this is where I thrive. It was also where I was trained. I was always trained in the radio arts. Like you guys know, since I was a kid, I've worked in radio stations, and growing up like this is natural to me. You know, everybody's like, I can't hear myself in my earphones when I hate it. Well, no, I can hear myself right through my little monitors here. Push those in. And I need to, because it helps with the modulation of the voice. It lets me know where my ranges are. If I'm sounding a little too squeaky, I know I can bring it down a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just something I've been trained into. So podcasting naturally for me was the next step. Is this an addiction? Because I look forward to this. I sit and I write Anson in the morning on my big old notebook. And as you guys know, I do this is today's episode right here on both sides of this paper. You guys know I fucking do and I haven't gotten to any of this stuff. Now, I haven't gotten any of this stuff, but that's okay. It's okay to go off script every now and then, right? I mean, that's what the show's all about. So what else? We talked about giving up the news, the booze, the smokes. I got to work harder on the studio. I got to work harder on PNS. I'm not doing my part. Sometimes I feel, it's easy for me to, like last week, say I've got the flu. I'm not going to do a show. So resolution number 5 is me focusing on this studio this year, guys. Like really trying to put out some content, being here every single week, delivering the best content that I can, doing my research, not always shooting off the cuff like I like to do, but I got to do it. And it's not just for me. It's for all the people that work for PNS Studios. It's not just me and Jacob. We have a staff behind us. And these people are working for free. They're doing all of this shit for free. And I owe it to them to step my game up. So that's my number 5 resolution, is to step up the game for PNS Studios. Now, right now it's a little tough to devote that much time as I need to, because you've got the Christmas cleanup. You got to get your finances back in order after you spend a little bit too much money on Christmas or whatever. You know what I mean? Getting the house back in order, putting all the decoration boxes away. I still got a tub of Christmas decorations I got to put back in the garage, but I'm lazy. I've been sick too, but that's still no excuse. I put off a lot of stuff, and sometimes I wonder if my procrastination is due to always being under the gun with my folks. Because I always felt like I was in trouble. You know what I mean? I always felt like I can't remember a whole week I went without being in trouble for something. So maybe knowing that I'm putting this off gives me that ramp up in feelings. So now I'm on edge. I'm like, oh, fuck, I've been putting this off for 2 weeks. I got to do it now, or it's not going to happen. So then I buckle down and I do it, and I really intensely focus on it. Now, is that my ADD or something? I don't know, but that's resolution number 6 for this year. I got to stop putting off shit that I got to do. I mean, whether it's around the house or, I got to clean my car out. It's not that bad, but I got kids. So you just vacuum all the pine needles and shit out from the back seat and from the driver's seat where I sit. I should do that. I don't know why I don't. But it's this fatal flaw in me. It's something that I do, and I shouldn't do it. So I need to stop it. So that's something. So I guess, what I'm realizing? I'm realizing that when you do a New Year's resolution, you're not making a resolution to do this, but you're acknowledging in your life what you need to do to fix yourself. And I don't think people are that honest with themselves. I think it's hard for people to sit and in a room with themselves, across from themselves, and have an honest conversation. It's hard for me. It was hard for me. It's been hard for me for a couple things, but sometimes you have to be self-aware in this world. You have to be self-aware. I don't think our politicians are self-aware, but you got to be. You know, you gotta sit down with yourself once in a while and say, hey, Anson, why are you an Anson? What was it in your life that made you like this? And is it good or bad? Is it the right thing to do or is it the wrong thing to do? So resolution number 7 or 6, 7. Have more conversations with myself. Sit across from myself in a quiet night. Turn the fucking YouTube off. Turn off Netflix. And have a talk with Anson. Anson to Anson, you know? Now, I've got a monitor in front of me. I can see myself. But it's not the same as having a real introspective talk with yourself. And maybe one of these days I just might do that here on the show. Just Anson in the morning, just me talking to myself, not to the audience like I do to you guys, because that's really what I'm doing today. And what I do for most of the shows, I talk to you guys. Maybe the next show, I should just shut the fuck up and talk to myself. Maybe. All right. We're 41 minutes into this show. I've talked a lot about my thoughts on the government right now, which I promise I won't do again. We've talked about New Year's resolutions. I don't know what else to talk about. So I guess there's nothing else. Listen, guys, before I go, I've got to do the dirty work. It has to happen. So here we go. Please, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. If you like what we're doing, we've got a YouTube channel. It's at the PNS Studio. If you're not following, guys, I would love if you just click the follow button so you can see when Anson in the Morning goes live, when Fat and Spicy go live. We've got a new show that's actually kicking some ass right now. It's grabbing a little bit of traction. It's called 3 Wise Men. It's an amazing show, guys. Check out half of one episode, and I promise you'll watch the whole thing. It's funny. It's introspective. Zach and the crew do an amazing job. They kick ass. They don't do what I do. I don't think they write the shows like I do. Like I write Anson in the Morning. I kind of have my outline and go over what I need to do. I think they just wing it, but there's 3 or 4 or 5 of them sometimes, you know, so it makes that conversation a lot easier. If Anson in the Morning had a co-host like Fat and Spicy, this would be a different conversation, but the one-on-one is important too. So maybe I will do that. Maybe I will do a talking to myself episode, but it's going to be scary. And I don't know that I'm ready for that because, you know, it's like I went to a therapist and one of the first things he was like, have you tried this EMDR thing? I'm like, no, I've heard a little bit about it, but I've heard a little bit about it, but I don't know all about it. He goes, well, a lot of people end up in tears. They get scared. They relive things. And I'm like, shit, I don't need that. So I got scared and I didn't go. I kind of quit the therapy thing after that. And it's my own fear. It's just like having a face-to-face with myself instead of talking to you guys. That's scary to me to sit here and, hey, Anson, what the fuck? Because I don't know. But I think we'll do it. I think we'll work on it. It might not be this month. I've got a lot of other things I want to get to. But yeah, we should do it. Guys, I love you. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys, sorry, phone. You guys make my Monday mornings. I look forward to waking up and doing the show for you guys. Don't forget, like, follow, subscribe, check out at the PNS Studios for all the other shows. This Thursday night, we're going to be doing Fat and Spicy, so that's coming up. We haven't done one in a little while. We've kind of taken some breaks for the holidays and getting sick and all that shit. So we're going to do that. But I appreciate you guys being here. I love you. I really do. And until next time, guys, thank you. Thank you. See you next Monday.